Hello. Today we are going to delve into the dark side of human nature and talk about one of the most horrific killers of our time, Johannes Mashayane. This story brings us to deep questions about mental illness, the law enforcement system and, no doubt, how society reacts to such horrific crimes. Johannes Mashayane was born in South Africa, in a city famous for its beautiful landscapes and rich culture. However, his childhood was far from idyllic. From an early age, he faced many difficulties: poverty, domestic violence, and lack of proper education. All this left a deep mark on his psyche. Mashayane did not have a stable support system, which obviously shaped aggression and hatred in him. He grew up in an environment that, unfortunately, did not give him a chance to live a normal life. His early years became the basis for what came next, the terrible crimes he committed. The first murder occurred in the mid-2010s, when Johannes had already actively entered the criminal world. At first, he started with petty crimes, but then his crimes escalated to violence. The first victim was a woman whom he attacked in a dark alley. This event became an alarming sign that Mashayane had a huge potential for violence, which, as it turned out, he would be able to realize. Over the next few years, Mashayane committed several murders, quickly becoming one of the most wanted criminals in South Africa. He threatened, maimed, and killed his victims, always evading capture. His cold-bloodedness and ruthlessness shocked both law enforcement and ordinary citizens. Mashayane's rise to a higher level of crime was made possible by the lack of information about his identity. Using masks and various tricks, he was able to remain at large for a long time. Since law enforcement could not track this terrible killer, Mashayane's arrest was the result of many years of investigative work. In 2018, additional information was gathered that allowed the police to narrow down their suspects. When he was arrested, Mashayane did not even try to resist. It turned out that his arrest was a relief for him. He essentially surrendered as soon as he learned that he had been found. This only highlighted his mental state and inability to cope with the consequences of his actions. At the trial, Mashayane demonstrated his discontent and alienation from reality. His lawyers claimed that he suffered from mental disorders, but the prosecution successfully refuted these claims by presenting several testimonies from victims and experts. The sentence was harsh: life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. For many, this was justice, albeit belated. The local population, gripped by fear during his reign of terror, was finally able to breathe a sigh of relief. Johannes Mashayane became a symbol of how social conditions and mental health issues can lead to violence. His case has sparked a wider debate on how society should deal with such incidents, especially in the context of mental health. This story shows us how important it is to intervene in the lives of those suffering from mental disorders and create conditions for support and assistance. It is important to remember that every criminal case is not just a statistic, but real tragedies that leave a mark on the lives of many people. Thank you for being with us today. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, put expletives, and share your thoughts in the comments. What do you think about this story? How do you think such crimes can be prevented in the future? See you in the next video. I hope you find this story useful.